So we're here on the Delivering Happiness bus. We're here with Matt Mullenweg, the founder of WordPress. And we're here at South by Southwest talking with him today all about kind of what inspires him and all the different things that kind of drive him. And he's going to share some knowledge.
I love what I do, and I feel lucky that I'm able to make a living from what I do. And two, just the impact of people being able to publish who weren't able to before. Or maybe who just didn't want to before. You know, the goal of WordPress is to democratize publishing. And every time I meet someone who's like, "Oh, I've been meaning to for years, and I finally started a website. I finally started a blog. I finally started something," that's really awesome. I draw inspiration from a lot of places. On the sort of tech and business side, Amazon and Jeff Bezos, I find hugely inspiring the long-term vision they take towards things, as epitomized by the Kindle and by Amazon Web Services. I've always admired Ray Ozzie a lot, actually, because of some of the things he did pre-Microsoft and both while at Microsoft, and now hopefully post-Microsoft as well. And Tony, I think his whole message about happiness is a pretty cool one. My vision for WordPress is really to be a platform for the web. So the stats put us somewhere around, I think last year it was around 10%. Right now it's around 13 or 14% of all websites are running WordPress. And I really think of WordPress as a platform. And so I want to take that to 20, 30, 40, 60%. And so just expanding what the base of WordPress enables other people to do through plugins and themes. So it becomes something that just, if you're making a website, it's so obvious you're going to make it on WordPress because that's how it's going to work and look the best. The number one thing I screwed up probably in the history of WordPress. We had just gotten big enough to need a full server. I couldn't quite afford it, and we were paying for things and everything. And I accepted this advertising on WordPress.org. But I didn't really vet the advertiser, and it ended up being a little sketchy. It's what we would now call spam links. It caused a huge hubbub. It was pretty rough. On the bright side, it turned around to be really positive. It was actually when more people donated to WordPress than ever before. We took the links down, obviously. A ton of people donated, which was really nice. And the experience sort of got me thinking about spam in a different way. And perhaps this penance for my Catholic guilt ended up creating a kismet about a year later, sort of learning, taking the idea of spam links and applying it to against spam and comments and other places where Kismet blocks spam, which it's actually approaching blocking 25 billionth spam. It's 25 billionth spam. I'll talk about a trend I don't like. As our ability to shape and change network traffic in real time increases and increases, powered by innovations in companies like Cisco and places like that, it can also be used for bad purposes, as we've seen most prevalently in China. And I say China not because they cut off the internet, because they do something much worse. They, just hide certain things. So you think you have the internet, but you're actually getting a highly filtered view of it. And then, obviously, it's not as interesting, but when, Egypt or Libya or one of these places where they just hit the kill switch. That's easy. Hitting the kill switch is easy. And it's also, I think, very ineffective because people know what they're missing. It's far more, Big Brother-esque. Just sort of selectively filter things. So there might just be a broken link, or you might think the server's down, or sometimes they return errors, like 404 pages. But actually what's going on is certain content is being withheld from you, and that has a far more insidious influence. If you're just getting started, it's really good to just meet as many people as possible. For me, my big break actually came here at South by Southwest 9 years ago. In 2002, I sort of just, as a kid, came to South by Southwest and met a ton of amazing people. Met Jeffrey Zeldman, who was one of my idols. He was actually kind of the reason I came to South by Southwest. And I was just at a dinner. It was one of these things where everyone went to a restaurant at a table with like 40 people long. But the seats around me were all empty, and I was bummed because I was like, what, do I smell? I mean, why is no one sitting next to me? And it turns out the seats were being held. And Jeffrey Zeldman sat down, his wife sat down, and then Eric Meyer sat down. So just those initial connections ended up being really pivotal. And WordPress, I think, might have been around then, or might have started shortly thereafter. So, later I started contacting those folks. Hey, yeah, check out this new thing I got. So South by Southwest was really special for me.